Last week, 21 Pilots main collaborator Paul Meany of Mute Math, one of 21 Pilots main producers, the guy who helped produce Trench, Level of Concern, Redecorate, Saturday, the live stream experience, MTV Unplugged, as well as Takeover Tour, posted this on Instagram. As you can see, it is Tyler, Josh, and Paul all under one roof, and that roof is Tyler's home studio. And immediately everyone started freaking out because this is 100% confirmation that the boys are working on new music as we speak. So everyone is going crazy and still is going crazy. And there's a lot of people saying this album could be here by the end of this month. By midway through September, beginning of October, midway through October. However, looking at this image, I can tell you that TOP7 is in fact not done. Why? Here's why. If you understood that reference, we're friends now. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this. How's it going, guys? First off, hope you're having a good day today. Hope your day's going well and hope it continues to go well. Sit down, class. Get ready for a crash course in audio engineering. Hey, if you enjoy this type of content, maybe consider donating to the channel's Ko-Fi down in the description box below. Buy the boy a coffee. Keep the boy sane. Anyway, let's get right into it. Firstly, let's go ahead and see what Tyler is using, and let's go ahead and zoom in on that computer to show you what is going on there. So, Tyler is using Logic Pro X, which is the main digital audio workstation offered by Apple. Digital Audio Workstation, or DAW, or DAW, is what people use to write and record music. There are many different DAWs out there. Apple has two of them, GarageBand, and then Logic, which is like GarageBand Plus. Logic is absolutely great. Many people I know love it. I use Logic myself, and I adore it. And Tyler has been using it since roughly 2009, because you can go into Logic's legacy section, download all the sounds, and you can find the exact piano sounds that were used off Self-Titled and Regional at Best. Not just piano sounds, but like basses that were used, string sounds, synths. Like, you can find the Attic with a Pen synth sounds in there, and it's so good. So Tyler certainly loves Logic. That is his main go-to for writing and recording and producing music. Now, in here you see that there are green tracks and there are blue tracks. And so the green tracks are MIDI notes. And so that's MIDI. What they are is a series of binary numbers that translate over to notes. You can either plug these in on the computer by dragging your mouse and clicking on notes, and or you have one of these MIDI controller keyboards behind me, and you just place some notes on there. They will transfer over into your computer, so that way you have the notes in the computer as well. And what the MIDI is useful for is for using any virtual instrument you want. Let's say you have a nice MIDI section going on, you play on, have a piano sound on it first, but then you're like, no, I think that would sound better with a string section. So you go into your virtual instruments you have in Logic or something you downloaded, switch it over to strings, hear how it sounds. Like, maybe I want it on organ, and you can switch around. Basically, it's great because MIDI is so versatile because you can swap it between every instrument that you want in your computer, and it's amazing. MIDI is awesome. And then you have the blue tracks, which are your audio tracks / WAV, W-A-V, which are uncompressed files. So they are the industry standard for sending music back and forth and or just audio. Not MP3s, because MP3s are super compressed. WAV files, not compressed at all. And if they are, it's very minimal, but it's the industry standard for sending music back and forth because you don't lose anything. It's pure audio. And everything that's in blue is stuff used to record with a microphone. So Tyler recorded vocals, that would show up as blue. If Tyler recorded any acoustic instruments with a microphone, that would show up as blue. If Tyler was using any samples that were WAV files, he would just drag them into Logic and they would pop up as blue as well. For example, taking this WAV file I have on my computer for a song on my upcoming EP, dragging it into Logic, it comes up as blue. So that's what that is. Now, this can also go for instruments like guitars and basses. However, Tyler hit the guitar and bass line on Logic. In that case, it would show up as purple, as shown by this, which is a snapshot of my hometown session in Logic. You see the MIDI notes at the top, all the green stuff, the audio, which are my vocals in blue, and then you get some, I believe, a synth bass in there, or bass, whatever it is, in purple because of the DI signal. So that's what's all going on in Logic. So why did I spend time telling you like what exactly the MIDI notes do? Because the next step, you should not have MIDI notes. You have to bounce it in place, and/or hitting a button and all that MIDI notes that with your audio instrument becomes a wave file, not compressed file, because it has to go move on to the next step, which is get sent to the mixing engineer. What the mixing engineer does is they take the song, they take the album, and they make it sound the way that it's going to sound. They'll go in and they'll make sure everything is balanced. They'll add EQ, compression, parallel compression, reverb, delays, gates, and so much more to make everything sound the way that it's going to sound on the album. And to do this, most mixing engineers need everything as a WAV file, because odds are the mixing engineer isn't going to have the same virtual instruments that you have. And of course, there are producers out there that will be fine with MIDI files, especially if you're doing your own stuff at home. Like when I'm mixing my own music, I'm fine working with MIDI files because it's just there. I'm my own person. However, if I was sending it to 21 Pilots' mixing engineer, Adam Hawkins, I would have to send over everything as a WAV file, because not only will he not have the same virtual instruments as me most likely, but also he's using a completely different DAW. He is using Pro Tools, the industry standard in the music industry for mixing and producing. The industry standard sucks. I've used it. It's awful, and many people share this opinion. But Tyler will send everything over to Adam as a WAV file. And so that way, whatever virtual instrument Tyler is using, everything, it gets encased in a WAV file. And also, if Tyler decides to add on any extra plugins on top, reverbs, EQs to make it sound a certain way, then all that will be preserved within the WAV file. And as Tyler does, preserved within the WAV, and this gives Adam so much more flexibility to do his job. And we know Adam does use Pro Tools over Logic because of his pure mix class, where you can see him mix all of Chlorine, which is super cool. I still need to buy this class because I'm super interested in it. But there's not a single MIDI region, as you can see in this smaller portion of the screen. If it went away, maybe it did preemptive snaps, but you can see in there that all this is a WAV file. There is not a single MIDI note in there. All the drums, WAV files. Synths, WAV files. Piano, WAV files. Everything in there is that. And if Tyler was looking at the mix of how the song sounds, then Tyler would be looking at Pro Tools over Logic in there. Now sure, he could send everything back as a WAV file over to Tyler, and Tyler could open it in Logic. However, that's just more work. That is just way more work. And to me, what Tyler is looking at is the production of a song that's currently in progress, not something that he has sent and gotten back. This is something that is still in the works on his computer, not something that was sent back by Adam Hawkins or from the mastering engineer. What the mastering engineer does is they will take the mixing engineer's work and they will polish it. Mastering people are mad scientists. They train their ears in certain ways to hear certain frequencies. They are crazy. I respect them so much. They are mad scientists. They will take songs, polish them up, and they'll make the overall album a better listening experience. And 21 Pilots and Blurryface, they've been working with a gentleman by the name of Chris Geringer, who also uses Pro Tools. He is a Pro Tools user as well, so once again, Tyler would be looking at a Pro Tools session over Logic. And when Tyler gets sent back the files from the mastering engineer, it's not going to be in a full-blown session. It's going to be in WAV files because, again, uncompressed audio, nothing's going to be compressed, and it's just going to sound way better than MP3. WAV does not mean finished. We discussed this when we talked about the I'm Not Home off of Tyler's computer back in January for the Vessel live stream. WAV is just uncompressed audio, and it's the industry standard from sharing music back and forth to each other. This is what you upload to streaming services, give the record companies saying this is what's going to be on the album. And as you see right here, Tyler with all of the trench masters. So that is all the steps. And Tyler, again, looking at a Logic session, you can see the different tracks in the different regions. You can see the MIDI, you can see the audio. So to me, this image right here shows that the album is still in production rather than the album being finalized. So once it gets sent to the mixing and mastering engineers, how long does this process usually take? Well, a couple of weeks to a month for a full-blown album. Of course, you also have to wait for Adam Hawkins and Chris to be available, because bookings and all that. They are Grammy Award-winning producers, so people want them all the time, so you have to wait till they're free. Now, could they work with other people? Absolutely, but they've been working with those guys since Blurryface, so why change that now? Could Tyler do it all himself? Absolutely. Would the record company like that? Probably not. They probably want to send them over to the professionals. And I mean, mastering especially is one of the hardest things you can do. Mixing, you can do a good job of it at your home, just watching some videos, you can eventually pick up on it. Mastering though is a bit harder, so you want to send that over to a professional to do so. Of course, Tyler could probably do it. He could probably take a week, figure out how to do it, and boom, we'll be good. But like I said, they're not independent artists. They can't just do things willy-nilly. They have to do stuff in conjunction with what Fueled by Ramen / Warner Media, the parent company of Fueled by Ramen, wants. But Justin, some of you might be thinking, the image you showed us of Tyler with the master files earlier was from August. Jumpsuit, Levitate, and Nico and the Niners have already been released by then. So, what then? He had master files of those songs, obviously, and yeah, you're right. Tyler probably had the master files of Jumpsuit, Nico, Niners, and Levitate early 2018, late 2017, so they can go to Iceland and Ukraine respectively and film the music videos for those songs while the rest of the album was still in production. That is a very common thing, especially because when you release an album, especially if you're 21 Pilots, you have to pick your 3 singles that you want to make in the music videos, and so you need those master files first, and then you can start recording those videos and you can worry about the rest of the album later. And fast forwarding over to Scale Nicey, Tyler did confirm that that last part of the outside, you know, the I'm on the outside in the summer heat, you can pick that whole section was added very last minute, because you look in the lyric books and that section is not in there. It just ends with or am I on the outside, doesn't have the I'm on the outside in the summer heat section. Tyler said he worked on that last minute. So you can work on it up to a point, because you still have to submit it to record companies and by a certain deadline. But, so you can still have this before. But to me, once again, the picture is showing that something is being worked on. Not something has been completely finished. Odds are they probably have something that's completely finished. They probably have something right now that's completely finished, and the next step is just recording the music video, because odds are they haven't recorded the music video yet, which is a whole video for a different day. I've seen the argument saying, well, what if this picture is older than we think and Paul just randomly posted it now? Paul Meany's job is not to promote lore. They don't, unless Paul is signed to a weird contract saying, by this point, you will send out this Instagram story, as well as this Instagram post promoting our new stuff. Because Paul shows artists that he works with all the time, whether that be Pierce the Veil, whether that be Youngblood, or many different artists underneath the sun. It's just what Paul Meany does as a producer. And to me, with this photo, it looks like Tyler's hair has grown a bit longer since the charity softball game. I mean, Tyler's hair seems to grow fast, and I'm pretty sure there's been pics of him before the charity softball game where he's had his longer hair, and or you can judge it off of Josh's hair. Josh has been a very busy boy. Like, dude has been seen frequently with fans, and or going the tour with Blink-182, and or on set with Debbie Ryan filming movies with Adam Sandler. Yes, that is a thing. So they really haven't had time together, and plus, Tyler's probably busy being a dad too, like enjoying time with Rosie and Junie while they are children. And so, of course, as a dad, that's your priority, not making music for the public. So, to me, it's unlikely that this is an old picture. Very unlikely. And of course, the final argument, Tyler saying that he's been working on this music for a long time, and very true, he has. I mean, he said he started working on the follow-up to Trench 5 months after Scale Nicey got released. Tyler was working on music while in lockdown and during 2020, and he didn't feel as burnt out as, for example, finishing Blurry Face or finishing Trench, and then he just kept writing music after Scale Nicey got released, because I mean, what else was there to do? But keep in mind, he did say working on music, and I highly doubt that Tyler is sitting on a whole bunch of mixes and masters for songs. He probably has a whole bunch of demos written and recorded on various hard drives, on various voice memos. I don't think that he has a lot of finished products of certain things. I mean, when Scale Nicey was released, in the Zane Lowe interview, Tyler said that he was working on 2 different albums at the same time, and he decided to go in the route of Scale Nicey. Each album is a reaction of the last one. So Scale Nicey is a reaction of Trench, Trench is a reaction of Blurry Face Vessel, so on. Tyler said that himself in the very same Zane Lowe interview. So this next album you're getting is going to be a direct reaction of Scale Nicey, not Trench. Tyler again has said that in the Zane Lowe interview. So odds are Tyler has been working on music for a lot of time, those of which being demos and not finished stuff. And when you have demos, you change them a lot. You will write lyrics and you're like, no, I don't like this lyric anymore. And or you throw it out. Tyler apparently is known for throwing out stuff. Josh has said that on a couple of occasions. It's like, yeah, no, Tyler wrote this really cool thing before, and then he threw it out the next day. He just didn't like it. I'm like, dude, that was sounded amazing. So Tyler, definitely is possible. However, I mean, of course, it's 100% that Tyler's been working on music for a long time. Again, I just doubt that he's sitting on mixes and masters for what would eventually be TOP7. He probably has a lot of scrap songs, and honestly, what I would love is for another Dema album, but like an alternate universe one of what could have been like the album after Scale Nicey if the circumstances of the recording of Scale Nicey did not happen, you know? I kind of want that. But anyway, guys, that's all I can think of at the moment. Like I said, I think the album is still in production. Tyler may have 1 or 2 songs, the master is back, but they're still waiting to film the music video, because I didn't think they're, at least looking at what they've been doing and how active Josh has been seen in public, they haven't had a good time to record a music video unless it happened before all of this South America and Mexico shows, like in February or in January, they recorded a music video, which I think is unlikely. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Don't worry, all of this will be on the audio engineer test. I'll make sure to send it all to your inboxes. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to bed. I'm super tired. I'll see you all tomorrow with something, but yeah, all fun. Sorry with being pessimistic with all these. I'm just trying to set realistic expectations so that way everything can just be level. I don't know, I'm super tired. I'll see you all later. Goodbye. And more importantly, have a good day, and I'll see you later.